Hello, guys. Today I want to share with you some different ways to be content in your new local culture. This is assuming that you're going to another country. The reason why I want to share this with you is because I know without a doubt you're going to hit a wall sooner or later. Maybe a lot of times this is going to happen to you. And you're going to ask yourself, why did I do this? What on earth am I doing here? Did I make a huge mistake? I promise it's going to happen to you. And I think that wall is really a really important thing to happen. It's an important place to be because when you hit that wall, that's when you're going to grow as a person. You're going to learn something new about yourself, maybe about others or about the culture. You're going to learn how to adapt and how to grow. So, but it's not really easy to deal with when that happens. So, I'm going to give you 5 tips to help you make that easier to cope with and help you to remain content and happy in your new country. So here we go. So tip number 1, definitely you have to learn the local language. There's like so many reasons for this. First reason is you just don't want to have somebody kind of like taking care of you all the time and like taking your hand and taking you like a child, doing everything for you. You need to be able to be independent. That's super important for your emotional health in your new environment. And it's just important for your safety too. Like it's not as easy to take advantage of you if you know what's going on. You need to be able to speak the language also to protect yourself, perhaps in an emergency. I'll give you an example. One time I fainted on the metro. I was by myself, and complete strangers, thank by the goodness of Jehovah, I'm sure, took care of me and helped me. Had some guys picked me up, took me to kind of like some paramedics, but nothing serious happened. Thankfully, I did not hit my head or anything, but I was very incoherent. I was completely helpless, and I needed to be able to explain myself, explain who I was, where I was from, what happened, if I had anything to eat or drink. If I hadn't had the language ability, I wouldn't have been able to do that. So super, super important for you to learn the local language, take care of yourself. Something else regarding the language, also important for your emotional health. You got to be able to make friends in your new home, and you cannot do that if you don't speak the language. You can kind of make some contacts and friends, especially like in Mexico. Mexicans are super friendly, but you're going to need to get down deep and have those conversations with people. You're going to need to talk about your feelings, your hopes, your dreams, your fears, their past, blah, 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 all that. You can't do that if you can't speak the local language. So 3 great reasons to learn a local language. I'm not telling you got to go out and buy Rosetta Stone. I'm not telling you have to be fluent before you get in the country. A lot of your language learning is going to happen right here in your country, but you need to have a basis before you get here. That way you can at least get by with basic communication. That way you don't feel helpless. And what else was I going to say? Oh, there's a lot of free ways for you to learn a language. You don't have to spend hours a day. You can spend a few minutes a day. I could make a whole nother video just about how to do that. So I'll do that later. But tip number 1, definitely you've got to learn the language. Number 2, you must embrace the local culture. What I mean by that is you must embrace the food, the customs, the dances, anything that is thrown at you, of course, that's within Jehovah's standards of right and wrong. Try it. Don't be like picky with food unless you're like allergic. Try the new stuff. The locals will be so happy to share what they have with you. And if they're people of little means, excuse me, the food might be like an expensive gift that they're giving you. And it would be a huge, like, what was I gonna, rude? It would be something very rude. Sorry, my English just went out the window. It would be rude to reject a hospitality if they're giving you something for them that is a serious monetary investment. Don't reject their hospitality and love. They want to share that with you, and that makes you more easily, adapt to the area. So embrace it, find the good points, and jump on in. Number 3, stop comparing your new culture to your culture back home. I promise you this is only going to irritate you and others around you. Your new culture, a new country, is never going to be the same as your home country, and that's not bad. Every place has its own unique, beautiful things, and it has its own horrible things. So if you think about it realistically, if you think about home the way, realistically and not like with the rose-colored glasses, there's problems back home too. There's nothing perfect in any place, so don't compare it. You can't. There's nothing that's gonna work out there except, again, frustrations. So don't compare it to home. You can always pull out the good points of the culture where you are. There will be times when you're going to need to talk to somebody because you're frustrated or you have a problem you got to discuss with someone. Be careful about who you discuss that with. You don't need to broadcast your problems with the culture to the whole world. That's just going to make people upset and think that you're unhappy with the whole place. So if you choose to talk to local people about problems you're having with the culture, I really suggest that you be very selective. My preferred thing is to talk to people back home about it because they're not going to, get offended because I'm not really saying anything bad about their culture. So again, just be careful. If you have a problem with the local culture, be selective about who you talk to about it and just try to be positive and love the beautiful things about the culture where you are. Number 4, treat yourself when you're nostalgic. I just had to check my list here. What do I mean by that? There's going to be times when you're homesick. Even if you're somebody like me, I love travel and I don't really have like firm family roots anywhere, you're going to get homesick. And Jehovah wants you to be happy, so, be balanced about it. For example, if I really miss like the food back home, which this does happen a lot, it might sound silly, but it really helps me to just get something small from something that reminds me of back home. It's easier in Mexico because Mexico is like, up against the United States, so there's still like a lot of things available here that you could get back home. Something that makes me feel good is just getting myself like some bacon. To me, that's a luxury. So if I'm feeling like, oh, I really miss like Applebee's or something, I miss that night out with my best friend, I'll go buy myself some bacon or maybe some special like cookies or some expensive cheese to make a nice pasta dish. Treat yourself if possible and in some little way to kind of keep yourself happy. That's going to help you to like prolong your stay and prolong your contentment, and it's going to help you to see that it's not that bad. You can be happy with just a little piece of cheese or some bacon. You don't have to get that Applebee's 2-for-1 deal or those half price apps that you used to get on Friday nights with your best friend. Yeah, I missed that. But anyway, what I'm saying is treat yourself. It's really going to go a long way to help you stay happy in your new environment. Number 5, last one, keep a positive, realistic perspective. You got to do this especially regarding your finances. Remember, guys, you're here to preach. You're not here to live a life of luxury. So you can't be teasing yourself with these little luxuries all the time if you truly want to live a simple life. What I mean by that is, for example, something very practical that I do, I simply don't have the money to go buy new gadgets and stuff all the time, so I don't even look at them. If I don't need to replace a gadget because it's not broken yet, I'm not going to open up a catalog or go online shopping for that stuff or even look at those promotional emails for the new cell phone. Don't do it. You're just going to frustrate yourself. You're going to get yourself down and think, oh, I can't keep up with the Joneses. I'm such a loser. All my stuff is broken. Really, nobody cares what kind of electronics you have, and your goal is to live as economically as possible so you can prolong your ministry in this new place. It costs money. You got to pay for plane tickets. You got to pay for maybe visas. You got to pay for vaccinations. You got to pay for XYZ, and then there's the daily expenses. So let's be real here. It's not free to serve in another country, or everybody would do it. So you've got to make your choices. Do you want to preach and serve where the need's greater? Or do you want to have a new laptop every year? You want to have that new tablet all the time. I'm not saying you can't have a tablet or a cell phone. I'm just saying be realistic regarding your finances. You cannot buy everything. That's the best thing I could say regarding the finances. Okay, so recap. I've got 5 tips to help you stay content when you hit that wall, whenever you just wonder why in the world you did this in the first place. Number 1, you've got to learn a local language. That'll help protect you. That'll help you still feel independent, and that'll help you make real friendships, which is super important for your emotional health. Number 2, embrace the local culture. This is going to help you learn beautiful things about the area where you are. It's going to help you keep excited about the place, and it's going to help you endear you to the locals because they're going to love to share their culture with you. Number 3, you stop comparing it to home. That's only going to make you angry and frustrated. It's never going to work out for you, and it also might make other people angry with you too. Number 4, got to treat yourself to something small when you're feeling a little nostalgic. It might be bacon, it might be cheese, it might be soda, whatever. Just keep yourself happy. It's not a punishment. This is preaching, okay? And number 5, please keep a realistic perspective regarding your finances and don't tease yourself with things that you know you can't afford. If you follow these 5 tips, I promise you that it will be easier for you to get through that wall and you'll be able to keep up a positive attitude about the place where you're serving. So I hope this helped you guys. Have a great day. Bye.